Hi there. Well, I don't know what's wrong with my system these days. I guess I complain about it too much, so the system gets back at me. No, just kidding. The quote for the day for February 10th is from Thomas Kincaid. I'm sure you've heard of Thomas Kincaid. Something deep in our spirit makes us long to be out of doors, to be renewed in the presence of nature. There you are. So that is that. And to continue, today's reading is called Embracing a World That Works for All. It's really intended once again for the Centers for Spiritual Living community in particular and New Thoughts in general. So I'm just making it work for everybody. How about that? Embracing a world that works for all. By accepting responsibility, we take effective steps toward our goal. What is that goal? An inclusive human society and a habitable planet, a society that works for all humans and non-humans. And that was Sharif Abdullah creating a world that works for all. Who was he? Who is he? He's a consultant, speaker, author, and he's an advocate for inclusivity and societal transformation. And I 100% endorse that. And Ernest Holmes, way back in, I don't know when he said this, probably sometime in the 1950s, at a place called a Silmar, which is where Science of Mind, aka religious science, now Centers for Spiritual Living, used to meet every single year, and they go back there sometimes now. He says, you find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is, or if you like, what New Thought is, and use it and live it as it is, and I'll myself live to see a new world, a new heaven, and a new earth here. So what does that mean? Well, this is what it really means. How many systems keep today's world running? This is Reverend Raymont asking. Politics, education, economics and finance, science and medicine, technology, hospitality, social services, military, criminal justice, law, and many others. He says, once we start breaking things down, that is. And, one of those things I really don't like, which is criminal justice, which I prefer just justice. But anyway, that's just me because it sets your mind thinking that anybody who's taken to court is immediately classed as a criminal. Maybe that's just me, but I think one way we could start heading towards this goal is to take out the word criminal from justice. A world that works for all is a world where all these systems operate in ways that benefit all people, all animals, the ecosystem, and the planet. And he says, talk about lions, tigers, and bears, you name it. And that's a lot to consider. And then he says, but how do you get to the wonderful world of Oz? One yellow brick at a time. In Centers for Spiritual Living's global vision, there's a guiding hand pointing the way forward, he says. It envisions a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. And then he says, are we approaching this process as if we were visionaries? He says, architects, contractors, electricians, bricklayers, plumbers, and interior decorators, and a lot more, right? Engineers, doctors, nurses, scientists. And how about the people who serve in restaurants, the people who serve the food in restaurants, the people who make the food in restaurants, etc. All invested in understanding what it means and what it will take to create a world that works for everyone. He says, are we embracing this possibility? Or are we avoiding it out of fear, apathy, or disbelief? Then he says, each time I share my thoughts in these daily guides, I try to stir the pot and have often repeated certain concepts, such as this one, right? I will keep doing so until I know we collectively live the vision that we set. He says, lives depend on that vision becoming reality. He says, are you ready to gather, discuss, plan, and build? as I said, he's aimed this primarily at the science of mind community, but it applies not just to science of mind and new thought, but it applies to anybody. As I've said, I am by nature an inclusivist, and that goes as far as philosophy, religion, etc., etc., is concerned. So I like to keep things on a broader basis. He gives an affirmation: I bring my time, talents, treasures, treatments, that is prayers, and tools to the activity of creating and building a sustainable world that works for all. This is the affirmation he gives us once again. I bring my time, talents, treasures, prayers, and tools to the activity of creating and building a sustainable world that works for all. And whether you're part of the Science of Mind community or not, whether you're part of New Thoughts or not, it doesn't really matter. I'm sure that everybody who watches and listens to or reads things like this are on the track of helping the world be a better place. We can do it one easy step at a time. We can start by just smiling more often. That applies to me, actually. Saying hello and complimenting people when you see them in the store, on the street, or wherever it is. So you can begin in small ways and then move into gradually bigger ways. So that's me for the day. Tomorrow we got 3 things to offer for you. We got Reverend Lisa at 9:15 in the morning. We got Daniel Johnson sometime during the day with the midweek meditation. You got me tomorrow evening, somewhere around about 5 p.m. And you can get all of those on Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page, and you can get me wherever you see me. Oh, and one thing, my prayer today is knowing that each and every one who watches this, who listens to this, who reads this, is on the track of self-care, the foundation for all things. Even this that we talked about today, self-care is the basis of everything. And I release this word into a divine law that always says yes, and I'm so grateful. I let it go and say, and so it is. And I'll see you next time.